I found myself at ground zero. What did I want to do with my life? I felt like a failure once again. Hey everybody! My name is Angela and I'm a visually impaired designer. Welcome to my Draw My Life video. I want to share with you my journey of becoming a designer. If you're enjoying this video and want to see more, subscribe to my channel below. Alright, it all started when I was born in the city of Provo, Utah. I was born with a visual impairment called aniridia, where the irises in my eye didn't fully develop, and I have very large pupils. I lived a good, simple childhood with my mom and dad, my 4 brothers and 4 sisters. I have good memories of spending time with my family, playing games, and enjoying each other's company. As a child, I remember visiting the eye doctor on a regular basis. I wore an eye patch as a child and went through a lot of different pairs of eyeglasses. I always have to wear sunglasses outside because my eyes are extremely sensitive to light. As of now, I have had 4 different eye surgeries, with the first one being at the age of 18 months and the most recent being 3 years ago. So while I was growing up, I was always referred to as the creative one, who liked to doodle and create art. Instead of writing in my journal or taking notes in class, I would doodle my notes with fun block letters and simple drawings. I loved to make birthday banners and signs for parties. I loved to scrapbook all my favorite memories, including ticket stubs and school IDs. In school, my favorite subjects were always math, choir, which I was consistently in from 5th grade almost all the way through all 9 years of college, and of course art classes. I took quite a few drawing and painting classes and loved them. In 8th grade, my art teacher asked if I wanted to join a brand new class next year called Commercial Art, aka Graphic Design. This sounded like such a good fit for me, and I was super excited by the idea. Until I found out that commercial art and advanced choir were in the same exact period, and they were both only offered once. I had to make one of the hardest choices I had ever made at this point. I had worked so hard to make it into the advanced choir, but I loved art classes so much. And in the end, I chose choir over commercial art. Now fast forward a couple of years to 11th grade. I took my first design class ever. In this class, I spent hours and hours on the assignments. I loved every minute of it. And in the meantime, from kindergarten through high school, I was taken out of class for 1 hour a week to learn Braille. I also participated with other visually impaired students in orientation and mobility, where we would learn life skills such as using a white cane, crossing streets, and going to restaurants with low vision. Because I can see relatively well compared to the other students, the lesson seemed unnecessary. But it was nice to be part of a community that understood the struggles of being visually impaired. Fast forward again to university. I began by attending Brigham Young University, where I faced the difficult decision of picking a major. I had narrowed it down to graphic design and becoming a therapist. In the end, I chose to go with the psychology route to become a therapist. There were still times when I was able to let my artistic side come out in school. For example, in my stats class, I would show up with 10 plus extra graphs and charts that would show the data in many different ways. Once I graduated from Brigham Young University, I was working for my sister's small family business to pay for my bills. The plan was to work for a while before going back to graduate school to become a licensed therapist. However, after doing research, I decided being a therapist was not for me. I found myself at ground zero. What did I want to do with my life? I considered career changes, including other jobs related to psychology, becoming a teacher, and even becoming a vision teacher specifically. In the meantime, I continued to work for my sister. She started to ask me to make some promotional materials for her business, knowing that I had a little background in Photoshop. As time went on, I created more and more items for my sister's business. I was able to bring back to life my love for design. The only thing holding me back from becoming a full-time designer was my fears. until one day I decided to go for it. I found myself studying graphic design at Utah Valley University just a month and a half later. Instantly, I fell in love with every class I was taking, and I finally felt at peace at where I was at. I just had to make it through design school. In design school, I learned so many new skills and discovered the world of typography and branding, things I couldn't even comprehend people were getting paid to do for a career. After graduating with my Bachelor of Fine Arts in Graphic Design, I got my first design job, designing book covers for a small local publishing company. I really enjoyed my job, but I couldn't help but think, is there some other way I could use my design skills to make a bigger difference in this world? I had taken a design course called UI UX, where we learned about how you can be a designer that designs with the user in mind. I loved this course and how it went beyond how things looked. So while I was designing books, I seeked out how I could shift to creating designs for those with disabilities. Over time, I had noticed that this is something I paid attention to a lot more than any other designer around me. I was then accepted into University of Washington, go Huskies, to work towards my Master of Design degree. This is where I first learned about accessibility design, universal design, and inclusive design. Grad school was a huge time of growth and success for me. I was able to gain the confidence I needed to move forward in my design career. I then graduated from the University of Washington. For a short time, I worked for an architecture firm in Seattle. I thought this was my dream job where I could make a big difference on how physical space worked for those with disabilities. But in the end, it wasn't the best job for me. And while I knew this job wasn't the right one for me, I was totally devastated. I felt like a failure once again. My job was the only thing holding me back from moving back home to be closer to my family. So once that was no longer a factor, I packed up whatever I could fit in my small Toyota Corolla and moved back to Utah. This is when I created my YouTube channel to share my research and passion with all of you. I also took a part-time job working on a language learning app as a user experience designer. I am able to grow my design skills at my job and also earn enough money to pay the bills. I am not sure what the next step in my career is, but it seems like the possibilities are endless. If you want to follow me on my journey, make sure to subscribe to my channel below. As always, thanks for watching. I hope you have a fantastic week. Bye!